There's competition, positioning for power and gossip, and I don't like her because of this, and I don't like that because of that. And it occurred to me this week, really lovely in meditation, it was so beautiful. If you ever reject a single person, let alone those beautiful, deep people trying to connect and understand the world like you are trying, if you reject even a single part of them, you are hating yourself. They are you. Everything you see about them is only your experience of them. Every single thing you see in them, every single thing you feel about them is you.
And also it's how you cultivate bodhicitta, which is the state of mind that you're trying to cultivate.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's so precious. So the opposite of that one, the fourth one, is bring people together. You see people fighting, it'll pass, believe me. You know, we're just lovely. It's okay to be lovely, even with, you know, broken arms and shitty attitudes, and it's just lovely. They'll get better. And it's not some ignorant faith. You just do the work to produce that, whilst you put up with appearances before. So what I'm saying to you is understanding the fourth one, understanding the split in the Sangha, can transform your spiritual journey, because you encounter any spiritual community that is trying to get to wisdom, you should love them. You don't have to agree with them. Sorry.
Does it also include not supporting someone who's... So there's the act of dividing, and then there's the act of withholding, or, I don't know, not supporting someone who's on a path in a way that you, to your capacity, not that you can, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is an interesting question. In your heart, you must maintain a perfect view. In appearances, you must act in accordance with what appears to you. So if we take an extreme and you see somebody in your Sangha hurting someone else, you must act. But you can't act out of you're a stupid idiot. You must act out of I need to keep this thing together. You'll come to your senses. Either you're appearing to give me an opportunity to practice by being an idiot, you know, and so therefore you give me the opportunity to bring forth an action of virtue, and you do it out of kindness, and you do it, but you must do it. I mean, Geshe Michael Roach did it very, I think, very beautifully at the Diamond Mountain issues. It was a massively difficult thing to have done. Yeah, but how do you do that? If you see anything that's threatening, you must act. I know in his heart he only experienced love. He can only have, you know. And the same on the other side, I'm sure, you know. So it's difficult. How do you do it when you see a fight between your family? You know, I've had to endure, you know, siblings that wouldn't talk to mum, for example, for years. You have to love them both. They're both acting stupid. You act in the best way, in the gentlest way, nominally, but internally you're doing purification, you're performing acts of virtue, you're imagining as you're bringing them together. You might say a word that you know will trigger a hope to meet the other one. All these things, important things. You have right now in your heart a whole bunch of understanding about what produces your world, karma. You have now in your heart and mind a whole bunch of information about the nature of this world. You also have in your mind a whole bunch of lies about how you think, who you think you are, and who you think you should be, and who you think you're not, and you know, the nominal experience that we get taught from birth. I'm Hector, I have to get a job, I have to be a good worker, I have to, you know. I'm not saying that's not what I have to do, but that's not who I am. Yeah? You got to churn them all up, they're all you. That's the hard thing. So anyway, what I'm saying for that one is pay attention to that one. It's a beautiful thing when you do the reverse. we talked about what gives it power, and then we talked about in order the severity, which is the most severe out of the 5. Do you remember that? So here were the 5 non-virtues, or the 5 misdeeds, immediate misdeeds, but they weren't presented in order: killing your mother, killing your father, killing a heart. They weren't in order. What was of severity? If you look at what will result in the worst experience, then creating a split in the Sangha was number 1. Yeah, and then number 2. Kill a Buddha. Trying to draw blood from a Buddha with evil intent. I like that they say draw blood rather than killing, because apparently you can't kill them. So, and then our heart, then dad. No, then mum, and then dad. Poor dad at the end. Yeah. He's necessary, but not that necessary. Okay. And which of the 3 passageways are actions in the 3 passageways of thought, speech, and body are the most serious if you do any darkness?
Your mind.
In your mind. Yeah? Good.
But doesn't that always come first?
Always. Yeah, yes. It's an obvious thing, but it's nice that it's clarified. Yeah. Yeah. Because you could be doing a visually pleasing action like giving your father a drink. Yeah, and so people think, oh, what a virtue, he's looking after his dad, but you've been thinking about poisoning him for 3 weeks or something, so that's building up in your mind as you're giving him drinks. So.
But isn't it worse to actually to kill a parent than fantasize about something?
That's what I was saying too.
Yeah, that was a question last week. It's not about fantasizing about killing a parent. The one of mind, why is the one of mind? Why is mind more powerful than the body or speech?
Because intention.
Because it's motivating?
Because it's motivating karma, so it will drive every action of body or speech. So in priority, I guess, in the priority split, it would give that. Also, out of all the 10 non-virtues, yeah, the 3 of mind are ill will, coveting, and wrong views. If you have wrong view, you're screwed. Yeah, because it doesn't matter what you do or say or whatever, it's all bad. It's your mind, it's the view with which you experience life. If you had the opposite of wrong view, if you have perfect understanding of how things function and you acted, then the action would have a complete path of karma, etc. But it's a good question, it's a good point. You think that it'd be stronger to actually do the deed. Of course the deed would be stronger if you thought it, said it and acted it, or acted it out,
Because you could try and kill someone, but the action might not actually kill them, but you have the intent to kill them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, it's in your mind. It's churning in there.
Sometimes in mind happens that you just initially just think about one bad thing, and then you have to put into that.
Yeah, quickly, very quickly.
Usually.
But this is good practice. You see, in the whole energy that you're spending in removing yourself from the initial thought. So this is the way I deal with those things. Yeah. So when you know you're getting close to some realization, when you know you're getting close to some genuine practice in your heart that's working, the demons appear. Yeah. So these things. Yeah. So in meditation, it's all lovely, and penis, or something. It's like mental Tourette's. It's like, oh, my teacher will have a funny dress on or something. It's like a revolting resistance to beauty. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not nice.
We always stop ourselves from saying or acting out some terrible thing.
I think this is what's...
It be in your mind, and you won't have that kind of control over it. I think that's why
it's the mind.
Yeah. It's when you can't control this.
But what I'm trying to say is that impulse to withdraw, that impulse to recognize it, they are all described in the previous classes as a virtue. It's the only negative karma that is a virtue. It's the only movement of mind with a negative flavor that is a virtue. Everything else that's got a negative flavor, like anger, jealousy, etc., is a negative karma. But any karma, any movement of your mind that is focused on a crappy object, like I've just had a bad intention, I don't know where it came from or whatever, the fact that you're withdrawing, that you're trying to move your mind to virtue, that is a virtue. That's it. Remember, that was described. So, and the other way I experience that anyway. I'm not sure if it's in the scriptures or anything, but this is the way I've experienced it after a while. Is you will have that mental Tourette, you will have that resistance, you will have. That's just normal and ignorance wanting to re-establish itself because you're getting close from and it's feeling lonely. Okay, so I think if it's an eruption that I didn't intend. Number one, it's not a complete path. It doesn't have all the components of a path. If it's just an eruption of some revoltingness, I just see it as the beautiful eruption, failed eruption or failed flowering of a negative karma that could have been much worse. Yeah, something that could have been my intent is now no longer an intent. It's a stupid, weak echo of something I've been purifying, and that doesn't give it too much power. And then the impulse to want to do the opposite and do a quick purification, that's beautiful, because the longer you do it, the quicker you do it, the less power that thing has. It's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's do class before we never get to class. This class, ladies and gentlemen, we will do on making more powerful karma. So I talked about where we got to. This is what we're going to cover. Do you all know the 6 perfections? The 6 perfections. Let's do a quick review on the 6 perfections. We didn't teach them in this course. I never taught them before, but you should have come to them. I mean, I've talked about them, but you should have come to them at some point. What are the 6 perfections? Where do they come from? Let's talk that first.
Oh, the Bodhisattva's Way of Life? The
Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life is a book by Master Shantideva around the year 700 AD, yeah, who wrote about how to become a bodhisattva, yeah, how to become a being whose entire impulse is to get enlightened for the sake of all living things, yeah. So how do you become that thing? Because that must feel good to walk around and look at every living thing and say, oh, all I